Something I learned a long time ago. The conqueror will never tell those that he conquered how to be more powerful than him. Never. Therefore, we can no longer rely on those who have conquered us, metaphorically, to learn the lessons of how we as a community, as a black community, should get better. That's on us. I think that kind of thinking is what guided him, Judge Thomas. We can't wait for others to make us whole. That's on us. We can't wait for others to do for us what we must do for ourselves. That's on us. So this may not be as significant as you think of you and your group putting this oral history together. It's very significant. It's incumbent upon each of us, anybody in the know who have traits of Judge Thomas in our veins, to take this message forward, educate as many people as we can, starting from the young to the very old. Put whatever resources we have behind us so that it could be common, so that the conversation could be commonplace. It can't just be amongst a few of us. It's got to be not necessarily amongst all of us, but a significant part of us have to have and continue to have this conversation. That's the only way that we're going to prevail in this. We're going to have to understand that sacrifices like Judge Thomas made have to be made today. He did it in the past. We have to do it in the future. We have to come out of our comfort zone and make sacrifices, just as Judge Thomas did, so that future generations can prosper. Because if we think that this is the zenith, that this is the pinnacle, while on the other side they're trying to push us back to the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, this is happening in real time, then we're in for a rude awakening. So my last word on this is that we take these messages forward. I know I am. I know I'm going to address, I know all of my kids on Saturday are going to know who Judge Thomas is. You understand that? So that's a blessing in itself. You understand that? All of my kids on Saturday are going to know who your group is. You understand? You know why? Because it's an example of you never give up. You never call it quit. You're an esteemed lawyer. You understand that? You could go rest on your laurels. You can go buy the biggest house in the world and drive the fanciest car in the world and just dine at Martha's Vineyard anytime you get ready. You can do that. You probably still do that. But the point I'm making is the struggle still continues, and it's incumbent upon us to do what we must do to inform future generations. So I appreciate the opportunity. You can call me anytime, and praise to Judge Thomas.
I would say we have to move forward and make things in our community more actionable. Take things from off the page, off the movie screen, and put it into action, particularly in the areas of education and economics. And when I say education, I just don't mean what we learn in schools. There's so much. My family now goes on a Black History tour every summer. There's so much to be learned about what we did, how great as a people that we are. I'm not going to say were, but great as a people that we are. And we need to believe that we are a great people, a royal priesthood, and move forward. My daughters could tell you now about being financially independent. The two kind of go hand in hand. In order to move, you have to have some kind of economic power. Otherwise, we're going to get to what we talked about earlier with the schools. If you don't have money to do certain things, people will take advantage of you if you don't know things and if you don't have a resolve to do it with. Whether it's either money or know-how, he and I are both athletes, okay? We know how many, some athletes who made so much money who are now broke. Even with money, you have to know what to do with it. And so one of our tasks going forward is, how do we move our people forward, individually and collectively? And I hope that one day we can come back to being how this community was. Rally around us as a people, helping one another. You know, we've heard it before, it takes a community to raise a child. In that community, we went to the doctor in the community. We went to a store in the community. We went to a club. We went to a church to make our communities whole. We often heard about the Tulsa, Oklahoma thing. It happened in more than just Tulsa, Oklahoma, okay? There were communities that we were flooded out intentionally. We were bombed out in Tulsa. We talked about urban renewal earlier. All of these things to weaken us, but we can't let that fester and manifest itself, else we would be worse off, continually be worse off. We have know-how. We have to pull it together as a community. We can't be as divisive as we have been and let people come and put wedges between us. We have to come together as a people. And I don't know who is responsible for doing it, but it starts with each and every one of us. What we teach our kids in our houses. My brother always tells his kids, and this is crazy, but it's so real in our community. Your job is to make sure you come home safe every day, okay? What have they put into our neighborhoods? We have to stand up and say, these things cannot be in our neighborhoods. In Los Angeles, they have rail cars that stop. They're loaded with weapons, and they keep going. They unload these weapons in our neighborhoods so we can kill each other. Okay? All this kind of stuff has to stop. It's just, we have to stand up to a lot of things that we've allowed to happen in our communities. However, we have to do that. Whether it's elected officials, whether it's community groups, whether it's pastors, whoever it is. But it starts with us as parents and teachers. We have such a great responsibility to our teachers, to our youth, to tell them about how to conduct themselves. In order to tell them how to conduct themselves, we have to conduct ourselves in a certain way, especially for our young black men. And the rate in which they are arrested. And so their arrest record tells a history about them, and hopefully that is not a part of their resume for the rest of their lives, so they could not be systematically denied a job because they have something on their record, okay? So we have to teach more, and the task is tough, it's not easy, and it's every day, whether we want it or not. And so we need to realize that we are all in this together, and if we're not, I don't know, we're just gonna be a weakened community, and I know we're better people than that.